This is James. I play the bass guitar in Monarch, and you're listening to the Deliciously Brutal podcast, baby.
All right, so if my notes are correct, your self-released album was back in the end of May. Now that it's been out and you've had some time to sit with it, what's been the reaction and how do you feel about it? Is there anything you wish to go back and change?
Well, we don't have an album out yet.
We released a song, a single.
Is that The Fray?
That's The Fray, yeah.
Okay.
We released that on May 20th along with video. And the reaction was, I feel like it's been great. You know, we just kind of threw it out there. It's the first thing that Matt and I have done since we left and parted ways with Wilson and Ryan from Red Sun Rising. And we were just kind of seeing what we could do, you know, and we put it out, and I can't be happier with the reaction we've been getting. So people want us to play a show. I would like to play a show at some point.
Same. That would be really nice.
I was just going to ask, is that something that you just fucking hate doing? And hope never happens? What?
Well, that's fucking fuck about that whole situation.
I'm sorry about my French, but there is like science says that smarter people cuss more. So
I have also read that. So yeah, I'm glad that fact, and I'm also glad that we're on this because it really helps for me to express my true feeling and whatever without just emphatic hand movements and fancy English.
Awesome.
I understand you, but you can also throw in hand moves.
I do.
Want. Like some people just listen to this; they won't see us.
Right. Anyway, so you said the record's not out yet, but is there a plan for it to be released shortly?
We don't really have a release date as of yet. We are currently tracking right now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're shooting to have another single out possibly by October. But since we're kind of, a lot of this we're doing on our own, we do have a team, but like we get to kind of call the shots on what we're doing. So we're waiting to see what the music sounds like and then see what the plan for release and all of that is. We're also kind of working in tandem with whatever the hell's going on in the music world right now. So at this point, you know, patience is the name of the game, which is unfortunate because we've got some really good music we would love to share and play for people and stuff.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty out there now, obviously. And as a new band, it's really difficult to gain any traction when there's nothing to latch your tracks onto, you know what I mean? And we released another song called Pearls about a month ago as well. So we're just trying to just kind of give people something fresh every couple months just to be like, hey, we're here. Like, we're going to do stuff at the point.
Hopefully.
And yeah, we just opened our merch store a couple weeks ago. So we have t-shirt orders coming in, and you can find all of this stuff in our link tree, Monarch, New Monarch Music, link tree, and it's all over our social medias. People, you know where to look. You guys are smart.
It's an interesting time to be a new band, though, even with like, you know, experience and past bands and touring and stuff. It's like, this is like a brand new start, which is for a time I thought was going to be very refreshing and so on and so forth. But now it's like I'm caught somewhere between extremely frustrated and extremely fucking frustrated.
And excited at the same time.
I'm excited. Yeah, no, it's exciting. It still is, but
it's like one day I'll play a show again. You know,
it's weird to have gone this long without playing just even like a shitty show or a great show or an okay show, which is like not even a single show for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, it's not cool.
No, and even as a fan, It sucks. Not even, I mean, the last show I went to was back in January of, well, 2020. I was on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and then I've never been to a show since. So as a fan, I can guarantee you I'm equally excited to get out there.
Absolutely. And those cruise ships are a lot of fun. Our last band had done the motorboat cruise and shipwrecked a bunch. Those are very unique experience.
Yeah, that's for sure. How do you see your music unfolding? Are you planning, the music business is sort of reinventing itself because it has to. Are you planning on sticking with that like single every month, 6 weeks? Or are you planning on still doing a full record or maybe a combination of both? I don't know.
I mean, I think we're kind of playing it by ear. Me personally, I see it being a combination of both. Right now we're tracking for 8 songs, potentially writing a 9th song right now, and that's a full album's worth of material with the 2 singles we just came out with. So, I would like to space things out just so we can keep people hungry. But as far as like releasing a full record just like that all at once, I don't really see the value in that as a younger band, a brand new band. If you're 3 albums deep and you're successful, like absolutely it makes sense to drop a full record, but with the way things work now and playlisting and what stays relevant and what doesn't, it's just better to kind of keep throwing nuggets out there. Right. That's how I play.
Is the one exciting thing though is like with things being the way they are, it kind of does seem to give artists a bit of an option. There's been like a trend that tends to work, and then when COVID happened, everything is inevitably changed in one way or another, and I think that's going to ripple out to music. Obviously, it has, but yeah, I mean, I would agree. I'd say a combination. Kind of have to like really learn to roll with the punches, with just about everything, and releasing music is no exception.
I think you have, sorry, Rena, I'm hogging this conversation, but I think you have to sort of maybe straddle the line because you have old people or old fans like me who don't do the digital. I'll do it, but I prefer sitting down with, the whole record and listening to it the way you sequenced it, as opposed to people like my son who just want to spend 99 cents and listen to your one song. Does that make sense?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's incumbent on every band to make music accessible for every generation, whether that be people who are metalheads who like physical copies, who like to go and pick that shit up, or to the younger generation who wants to swipe their iFace and go, okay, give me a song. Like, that's kind of the, I would think it's silly for any band to not respect, the technology and their fan base.
Sure.
And if you don't do those things, then you're potentially losing out on fans, which is, a big reason doing music in the first fucking place.
Gotcha. Sorry, Rena, go ahead.
No, well, now that you brought up the social media and so on, so how active are you guys there? You said that you want to drop something, monthly to make sure that people remember that you exist. Do you accompany that with, I don't know, social media attacks of content of all kinds?
We're fairly active on Facebook and Instagram. We'll post, update videos every couple days, or just obscure pictures of somebody recording or just being silly, like whatever we feel like posting. We're not afraid to just let people know we're there, even if we don't have a new song to give them. As far as like TikTok is concerned, we haven't taken that swan dive yet. I'm actually personally terrified because I don't want to spend more time on my phone than I need to. And I feel like it'll just engulf me and my girlfriend will hate me. So that's where I stand on TikTok.
I think there's a value to what, like, we do post stuff and whatever, but I think there's a value to not just posting for the sake of putting shit online. And if there's one thing that I really loved about bands growing up, was a sense of mystique and kind of like not knowing all of it, having to guess or wanting to learn more is what keeps you following the band. And I think that is something that and I think we are a little more interested in is like, if we have something worth talking about, then finding the right way to talk about it and an interesting way to engage fans is not just as important, but I think it's the value of that has been lost. And it's something that I think we're trying to focus on a little bit more. Like, for instance, we're in the studio right now. We post, a few things to our story, and it's cool shots or playing videos or, us doing stupid shit. But it's because we're actually doing something. And then when we're not doing something, we might put something up here and there, but it's not like, oh, well, let's just put some video of Ryan eating a fucking sandwich.
Right.
Okay. And that's going to the band post. And it's like, hey, what kind of sandwiches do you guys like to eat?
Right.
Like, fuck that. I don't care. Like, I can't imagine a world where somebody is like, man, I wish Ryan would talk about what kind of sandwiches he eats. That is a related I really just want to fucking know about. Like, that's right. Stupid. I don't like hate on bands for doing that, but I think it's dumb. It takes away from the mystique of being in a band and everything around it. So, sorry for the rant.
No.
I guess that's like a branding kind of question. Like, if you think about the image of your band, like if you're going for the mystique, then hell yeah, that's the approach. But Absolutely. Then, if you want to be just like extremely accessible and relatable and just like, these guys are our buddies, then you will just like, post sandwich.
And the funny thing is we're very much like that. Like, if, you were to come up and be like, oh, we like your band, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not going to be like, get away.
Right.
Like, we're very engaging people. We love people who love our music. Like, thank God people do, or else we wouldn't be able to do this. So There is a part of that where it's like, we are very open, but at least as far as like, what you're seeing from the band perspective, I think for our type of band, it tends, I think the idea of there being like, not all there, not all visible is kind of important.
Okay.
People get way too, they have that like attention span of a goldfish, and it's just like,
yes.
5 seconds, you might be giving them the greatest picture in the world and the greatest story and the greatest everything. And then 5 seconds later, it's like, I saw something shiny.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. It's a crazy world we're living in for sure. You guys said you're in the studio. Are you guys writing all together, or is it more the particular efforts of one member of the band?
So when, are you saying writing in general or just?
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the place. I'll write complete songs myself and present them to the band. Ryan will do the same. Sebastian will do the same. Puhy's show me plenty of ideas that we've ended up using as well. Even though he's a drummer, he's actually a real musician too.
Oh man, burn.
Stop each other online, and sometimes there's times we get together in person, but that's only happened like 3 or 4 times in the past year. We'll get together in Ohio, rent a practice space out, and just sit down and work out ideas, hash out ideas. And the songs we're working on right now, we actually are working with Bob Marlette. He's a producer, and we did pre-production with him in Ohio a month and a half ago to solidify like the structures of these songs. Right. So we're kind of just doing the grunt work, the tracking stuff right now. And it's just me, Puhy, and Ryan together. Sebastian's going to be with us on the 24th. So in a few days, and we'll be able to start doing vocal stuff. But, everyone's kind of just working around their own personal schedules.
Right.
Like we mentioned, it's all done ourselves. Sebastian couldn't be out here the whole time because of his job, and he's got responsibilities. He's a father. He has a family. Ryan also has a family. We all have things that we're obligated to take precedent over this, but we're continuing forward anyway. This is what makes us all happy. This is why we keep doing it, despite everything that's going on in the world.
It is cool to be in a band though, where it's like equal shares as far as your creative input, and typically you see a lead singer, guitar player that kind of take on a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
or one or two band that are just kind of like, well, we do this, and then you're basically like in the background.
Right.
This is the first, project I've been in where it's like, this is an even split. Everybody gets a voice, even if 3 out of 4, like, your idea is fucking garbage, we still take it through to the end. And that's amazing. I think that's what is going to make the music we're making a little more interesting, because it's not, can't exactly pigeonhole it. Yes, it's kind of like rock music, but everybody's taste and songs have made it into it. And it's been that much more work to kind of try and find the connection to have it all make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not straightforward rock record. There's a lot of texture to it, a lot of color, and a lot of emotion, and that's really cool. Personally, for me, a lot of bands that we would go out and play with, a lot of bands that I'm hearing on the radio, you'd hear a song, you go listen to the record, and it's kind of sounds like the same song 10 times over.
Right.
I go through and listen to some of these mixes, and it sounds like 3 or 4 different bands, or there could be 3 or 4 different records, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Like, do you think like each song sort of stands on their own, or were you going for a cohesive sort of feel to the collection of songs, or they're just,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think they stand on their own, because while we were writing these songs, there was no thought of having a full record or cohesion, and we're still so young as a band that I don't feel like we found our sound yet. We're just kind of doing what we think is cool, or whatever raises our eyebrows when we're writing together, So I do think they stand alone individually.
I will, however, say that with the songs we are putting together, like, there wasn't an overall stand back and take a look at one picture, but we are still kind of putting together the record as, a full piece. It's not just like 9 to 10 separate songs. The way it flows, still like there's a connection between it. And then we haven't exactly found all of the pieces yet, but within that is going to be some like string that kind of runs through all of it. I hope, I don't know.
I think that's going to be more up to Sebastian. I think he's going to be the glue that kind of brings them all together.
Right.
Okay. Do you guys have like a lyrical theme or like some sort of message or philosophy that you guys are trying to get across with the stuff?
Not necessarily. Ryan and Sebastian, they kind of write all the lyrics to the songs, and every song is just about very personal things that I guess everyone can relate to in their lives, getting older, love, loss, all of that. But I can't, there's no, it's not like a concept album or anything, there's no underlying message of like, make sure that you're
get
religious,
your parking
or
ticket verified whatever. Every time you park in public lot. No, I mean, I would say it's a coincidence that it happens that the lyrics would connect with everybody, but from what I can take away from it, it is very personal feelings or situations that they're kind of letting out, which again, I think helps connect and make the music that much more important, because it's not like go buy Coca-Cola products and then you use some and get you up stuff and it's very shiny, blah, blah.
Nice.
I mean,
we're catchy though. Sell it to the Coca-Cola company.
By the way, and I wrote it, so make sure that it is noted as such.
But credits go where credits are due, definitely.
Thank you very much. You heard it here first. But yeah, I think it's going to be important to kind of hear some of these themes. There's some shit where I hear the lyrics coming back. I'm like, oh wow, I can see where it's coming from, and then I'm like, I could totally relate to that in my own life. And it's kind of, it's cool that you have something so very specific and so very intimate, but yet so very public and easy to understand.
Right. I get that. So,
Do you
yeah,
think we should throw these guys some oddball?
I do. We're going to throw you some oddball questions. And I don't know if you remember me, but you guys spent a whole day at my house here in Richmond filming a bunch of stupid shit.
I was going to say, you look familiar.
Yeah, we filmed a whole bunch of short, funny bullshit segments, I don't know, a long time ago when Wilson was in town in Richmond.
Yeah, I think that's when we stayed with Brad from Guar. We came over and did some shit.
Yeah, we spent like a whole rainy day filming a whole bunch of crap.
Was I there?
I don't know if you
I think, you know what? I don't think I was there because I think it was an overnight drive and I ended up like sleeping all day or something because I have no recollection of this.
I had the Great Dane that you guys were all playing with. Big Great Dane.
Oh, I know. I remember.
Yeah, I was not there.
It's funny because I forget more shit than just about anybody. I already forgot what color my pants are.
Nice.
But I've got a thing for faces, and I remember yours. I was like,
especially one as good as looking as this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a very, very beautiful
hair,
look.
by the way.
I just want to touch your face right now.
Love that.
I don't know.
Now there's an imprint on your
right. I often get mistaken.
Face, right?
I often get mistaken for Jason Momoa. It's really tough.
I can see
that. Yeah.
No,
Like
like a slightly younger, more handsome brother.
Yes,
exactly. That was the only reason why I agreed to do the stupid show is because I thought it was Jason.
Right. So
and the truth comes out. Here we go.
So we're running up on time. I got like 5 minutes. So I've got 3 sets of fucked up cards in front of me. Pick a number from 1 to 3, and we're gonna answer some questions. Pick a number.
3.
All right. If you could miraculously become the boss at work, what's the first thing you'd do? Give me the top 5 answers.
Miraculously become the boss at work. What would I do?
I would retire.
Good one.
Not one of their answers on Family Feud here, but go ahead.
I would implement that it would be okay to wear shorts.
Yes. So beyond casual Friday, it would be shorts.
No pants altogether.
It would just be casual all the time.
Or no pants altogether.
Pants altogether. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, can I change my answer? Can I change my answer to I would implement a no pants?
A no pants policy.
And then I would retire.
Then you would retire.
You've left your
One
mark.
and
It's time to go.
Yeah, gotta hit him with the one and done. Get out before shit gets heavy.
All right, so fuck the numbers. I just picked something else. This is an absolute different category here. You ready? I'm going to give you 3 hints.
Yep.
You got to tell me the subject I'm talking about. Just so you know, it's called Dirty Minds, but not necessarily the answer is dirty. But you're going to go there anyway, all right? So the first one is everyone.
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Everyone wants my big box. The more you use me, the smaller I get, and I leave a colorful residue.
The more you use me, the smaller I get.
Everyone wants my big box, and I leave a colorful residue. What am I?
I wasn't aware that we'd be doing riddles.
I was going to say anus.
I'm also going to go.
What was the answer?
The answer is a box of crayons, but anus is probably the best answer.
I feel like you threw that answer out because I think James nailed it.
Leave the colorful residue. Guys, see a doctor.
I don't know what's happening.
Colorful residue, okay, and it's not all one color. If you want to get into poop color talks, we can keep this interview.
There is I'm sure there's like a, that you can choose your wall colors and you just have that color chart.
No judgment, Puhy. No judgment at all here, Puhy. Whatever you got.
That's right. We want to talk poop swatches. You got corn yellow. You got forest green. You got candy bar brown. We got candy bar darker brown.
There's only 4?
There's probably a couple more in there for the 4 corners of the poop swatch room.
I don't know how we could take
Then
it any
there's
further.
the pitch black. Then there's the pitch black that says that you have about 2 weeks to live.
Right.
Those.
Nice.
We're almost up to okay.
Classy. That's my middle name. All
Yes.
right, but
That's all I've got. I hope that wasn't too bad. We like to have a little fun by throwing in some questions at the end just to make it laughable anyway. So thanks for playing along.
I love that.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, be well, my friends.
nice meeting you.
Take care. We'll see you around. All right, bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.